Hello everyone and welcome to the race review of the Makuri Stage 3 Castle to Castle course. It's my first time trying to do one of these reviews. Not many, I can imagine, follow my YouTube channel, but I'll do the odd live race, and but I know they can be a bit boring, a bit long. So I thought I'd provide a review instead of a race. My plan was, before going into this race, that I wanted to do that anyway. Some other YouTube channels have inspired us, so I thought, let's give it a go, see what happens. That's where we are really. So Makuri Stage 3, Castle to Castle. Category C if you count that, but it's the 330 to the 450 pen. I'm at 391 going into this race, I think 391, 393, something like that. On Swift Power it has me down as a DCAT currently, but that's largely I think because over the last 6 months I haven't really done much in terms of Swift. Just life got in the way, and I had to prioritise things, and unfortunately Swift was one of them that just had to take a bit of a backseat for a while, but life seems to be sorting itself out now. So over the last 2 months I've been slowly getting back into it. So going into this race itself, didn't have much expectations going into it really. I knew I wanted to do this race tonight, but I just thought ride it, see how it goes, see what happens, and just kind of roll with the punches. 50 riders in this one, so it was quite nice. I like a healthy pack of riders. Always makes it a little bit more interesting for me sometimes than a few only like 20 odd riders, but still, good ride, good group. And I knew we had this climb in the middle in the first third of the race. That was going to be kind of like that decision point for me to see how we were doing, and if we were well, we'll just go with that really. So you will see shortly that the view starts changing. I like to ride in first person view, but I will switch over shortly into I have another camera from another version of Zwift running, so we can get a different perspective, like you can see now. So we're going to fast forward a bit anyway. The start of the race is just a start, normal processions. You go hard at the start and then you kind of settle in, but we'll try and fast forward up to the climb itself. So at this point here, I'm looking at the map. I'm just trying to remember myself what is coming next. And I think I shortly realised that obviously we take the right here, and that this is then that kind of start of that climb. Obviously the graphics also show there that we've got that climb coming up. So I'm starting to prepare myself mentally for this, see what happens. This is kind of where I'm at the moment. Obviously I start noticing that it started to string out now, and I'm quite a way back from this, so realise I might need to start pushing harder on the pedals, start trying to work my way back to the front. You can see there's some gaps starting to show at this point here, so I'm trying to now work my way back into that kind of lead element best I can to get onto it. I believe I've got a draft power up. I know it's hidden behind the graphics, but I've got a draft power up there. So and I do get on, but it's still getting obviously steeper, still becoming harder. So I'm still trying to dig in and get on, and as you can see there, I've kind of managed to latch back on to the group. but kind of like immediately as I'm back on the group, we've kind of got this small flat section, and then we're straight back into it again. So I'm already kind of struggling, finding it difficult to recover. And yeah, I'm kind of like predicting that I could get dropped off at this point, but I'm going to try and stick with it the best I can. You can see I'm just holding on to the rear of that kind of lead group there. But as you can see, I am starting to drift off that back there, and I'm trying to make a decision whether or not I have got it in my legs to carry on and keep on, or am I going to inevitably drop off this kind of lead group of about 13, 14 riders. And as you can see, I managed to get on for a moment, but they're still pushing the pace hard. So I believe around about here I'm starting to push to fall back and kind of realise that these guys have got the legs to carry on this push and I haven't. But I quickly find the kind of chasing pack here just about now. Realise that I need to pick the speed up though, just to make sure that I don't get dropped from this group, as they're starting to come through me quite quickly. So I try and have a moment breather, let some of the riders get past me so that I've at least got a few wheels to hold on to, and then I try and keep back on it again. Got actually Rich Barrett there, another arm cycling rider with us. I was like, all right, okay, let's stick with Rich. And yeah, so we get to the flat part here, and we've got this kind of group here, which I'm happy with. That at least I'm not all the way at the back, and I've got this group here. So yeah, so this is now that kind of opportunity where I'm trying to recover, get some water down me, get the heart rate back down, assess the situation, see where we are in relation to other riders, see where that lead group is, and see if there's any opportunity to close that gap. Initially noticed there's 2-3 riders in front, so I thought maybe let's make it that our first goal to get to that group, and then noticed that there's about 11 seconds between us and that chase pack, and we've got a load of flat. We've got a descent, a nice healthy descent, and then a flat for the rest of the race. So I thought there's a chance we've got a big group here that maybe if there's enough riders in this group that are willing to do the work, we can actually bridge this gap. So yeah, I put the call out onto the chat. Who's up for closing this gap? Try and give a few words of encouragement, and enough riders seem to be interested in doing it. So still use a descent. That's the best chance to try and at least get some recovery, pick the speed up, but so we're not hemorrhaging the gap. And then as soon as we hit the flat, let's get to work and let's try and close this gap down. So yeah, I thought, well, I'm the one that's called the charge, so I should lead from the front, lead by example, and yeah, get straight to it, so that everyone shows that I'm willing to do the work myself. My plan is purely just to go on, try and knock a couple of seconds off that lead group, and once then, get 1 or 2 seconds down, I'll then flick the elbow, and hopefully another rider will come through it and take it on. And fortunately, the riders were there that were prepared to do the work. So I've got a Zwift ride, so I was able to move myself out of the way, so that I wouldn't, when I slowed down, I'm not going to cause a sticky wheel. And then the other riders fortunately took on the mantle, and it worked well. There was definitely, I would say, probably four or five riders that were definitely prepared to do the work. And nothing to the other riders that didn't. Some people may have not been able to have done enough to be at the front. But the fact that they were in that group, keeping on to the pace at least anyway, gave us a draft at least for us to recover whilst we were in it. The guys worked really well here. It was really impressive to see a good bit of teamwork where we were just rolling through. People were taking the turns. There's a few times where I went a bit too hard, on my turn and dropped a bit, but the riders were willing to get back onto the wheel, and because the speed was there, as soon as I rolled off anyway, they were still going at speed, and that's what we need to do, is keep carrying that speed through. So yeah, and we eventually, amazingly, and I think it's the first time I've ever been in a race where this has happened, where a pretty healthy lead group was actually caught by, we are obviously a healthy sized group ourselves, but equally there's been races where no one's been prepared to do the work, and that's kind of deflated that charge. But this I was really buzzing when we managed to get back onto that lead group, because it rarely as I've ever seen it happen, and I thought, you know what, that was a good solid effort from everyone. I said that group in front wasn't a small group, so they were going at speed as well. But we clawed back on, which was really, really good. So at this point then, my main effort then is to try and recover as best I can. Hopefully no one would run off, but there was a few riders that did try and break away literally as soon as we got to them. But I think fortunately enough, there was enough of a bigger group now that the solo attacks were going to get chased down, which they were. So that was at least reassuring, because I don't think had there been another healthy group away, we may have not been able to have mustered the courage and the enthusiasm to do it again. But yeah, here we are. So we're now just kind of like, say cruising. That's probably not the right word. I'm still just under 180 beats per minute. So I'm still really trying to lower that heart rate down and trying to recover. But yeah, so we kind of now just really cruising through Nyokio, and a few little bumps here and there, which again, no one, there's the odd one or two riders, which we'll see in a short while, that pulled away and tried to make a gap, which I like that as well, because it is fun when people try and do something different. But at this point I was absolutely buzzing that we just made it back. Like I said, it rarely happens. So yeah, really, really impressed. And I was then just focusing on whether or not there was anything left in the legs for a sprint or not. I didn't do much of a recce with the other riders that I was riding against before going into this, so I was in the unknown if there was any sprinters. I wouldn't say I'm a massive sprinter myself. I'd say back in the day, but at the height of when I was doing okay in kind of the sea cats of Zwift, I was a good sprinter. But like I said, it's been a while, so I don't really know what my legs have got at the moment, and because of that effort just to bring this group back, it was very uncertain of what things look like to the end. We're getting a few power-ups as we're going through some of the banners, so seeing what we got. I think I got an aero draft at one point, and again, I wasn't particularly fussed on what power-up was going to be at the last opportunity, but I got an aero one when I was there, so I was a bit alright, okay, so there's at least, either or wouldn't have made too much of a difference, I don't think. I would have just used them how if it was an aero, I would have used it at the last safe moment. With a draft, I probably would have used it a bit earlier on, just to try and help me propel myself through the group. So yeah, we're into that last kilometre stage now. A lot of fans have been dropped, so I'm presuming that these riders had it on that last banner. I had an aero, so obviously I was trying to just save that for the right moment. Before we carry on, I just want to apologise. The camera angle for the ending is a bit poor when it switches over to this view. But kind of the buildings and the trees and that get in the way. But I'm just now looking to see if there's any orange numbers coming out, and if so, can I react to it? And when it happens, now as you can see there, someone right from the back shot themselves forward. What was 500 metres to go? I'm like, I haven't got anything for 500 metres, so I picked up the pace though, just so that I could try and surf the wheels of any riders that reacted to it. And you can see there's quite a few riders that did, so I'm just trying to keep in the draft the best I can. As you can see, though, I'm kind of drifting back, but not massively. I keep going at a kind of steady watts, keeping the pushing on the pedals. As we get round to this corner here, obviously trees in the way, but I then do drop the aero and then start really just hitting the pedals and seeing what I can do. I managed to catch a few riders up, and I'm thinking, all right, this is good, fourth or third, chance for maybe podium. And yeah, lo and behold, I got a third place, remarkably, I feel. But I was absolutely spent by that last 500 meters. But yeah, really chuffed with what I managed to achieve there, with regards to the fact that I got dropped on the climb. So and a few more surprises came after the race when I did the usual Zwift power check and all that. I don't know what happened with the first and second place rider, whether or not they're not registered on Zwift power or what, but they weren't included in the final results. So I actually managed to get a first place as well. ZwiftRacing scoring out to 401, and I even got my FTP increased, which was a Brucey bonus. So overall a really good race. Like I said, considering we were dropped on the climb, but the team of riders I was with just smashed it out of the park, getting it back on. So really chuffed with that. So yeah, I hope you like this video anyway, and please drop a comment. I'm not going to do the old like and subscribe, because I don't know how often I'm going to do this, but yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.